Hello everyone, welcome to online education of Sir C. R. Reddy College of Engineering. So in the last class, we have seen the basic concepts which are present in the unit commitment. Means what is the meaning of unit commitment and what is the need to have unit commitment. And at the end, we have seen what is the difference between unit commitment problem and ELD problems. So clearly in one word, we can say unit commitment means is nothing but selection of the units and ELD means it is nothing but loading of the generators. So we have seen these two topics in the last session. Now in this session, we will try to understand more and more what is meant by unit commitment by taking a simple example. So let me take a simple example here. So this is nothing but the example which I am going to take here. Suppose in your plant, we have 3 units are there with the following specifications. This is unit 1. The minimum power is 160 megawatts and the maximum power it can generate is 600 megawatts. And the fuel cost function it is given by F1 is equals to 600 plus 7.1 P1 plus 0.00141 P1 square. So this is nothing but related to the unit 1. Similarly, unit 2 specifications are minimum is 100 megawatts and maximum is 450 megawatts. And the corresponding fuel cost function is F2. Similarly, unit 3 specifications are minimum power it can generate is 50 megawatts and maximum power it can generate is 250 megawatts. And F3 is nothing but fuel cost function for the unit 3. So in your power plant, so-and-so power plant, we have 3 units are there. Listen very carefully because once you understand this problem, then automatically, easily you can understand what we are going to solve or what we are going to discuss in this class. We have 3 units are there, unit 1, unit 2 and unit 3. And in this problem, they have given some constraints, that is real power constraints. When you are considering unit 1, the real power constraints is the power generation must be in the range of 160 to 600 megawatts. This is the constraint of unit 1. Similarly, we have constraint is there for unit 2, that is power generation should be in the range of 100 megawatts to 450 megawatts. Similarly, unit 3 constraint is 50 megawatts to 250 megawatts. So already I told you that why we need to respect these constraints, minimum constraint and similarly maximum constraints. So this is nothing but minimum power it can generate and this is nothing but maximum power it can generate by the unit 3. Similarly, unit 2 and unit 1. And along with these constraints, they have given fuel cost functions F1, F2 and F3. So these are nothing but a given data. And one more given data is load is equals to 500 megawatts. Load is equals to 500 megawatts. Means speed is equals to 500 megawatts. So by combining all these 3 generators, definitely we must meet this 500 megawatts. So here 3 units are there, 3 generators are there. The usage of 3 generators, we must meet this 500 megawatts. But here the problem is what units should be committed. Means either we have to take unit 1 alone or unit 2 alone or unit 3 alone. This is case 1. And the case 2 is it is better to take combination of 2 units, like unit 1 and unit 2 is one combination, unit 2 and unit 3 is one more combination, and unit 1 and unit 3 is one more combination. Coming to the case 3, it is better to take all the 3 generators at a time. So it is nothing but a different combinations we are going to see. So our problem is what unit should be committed in order to meet this 500 megawatts. That is nothing but meet this load. And one more point is economically, means optimally. So here this problem can be classified into 2 problems. The first one is we must meet the load and the second one is we must meet that load optimally. 2 are important. The first and foremost condition is at any cost we must meet the load. And the second one is economically we must meet the load. So in this problem, we are going to discuss these two problems. First one is we must meet the load, and the second one is optimally, or we can say economically. So how we can meet this load? So first, I will consider the first case, that is my target is I must meet the load. So however, my target is I must meet the load. And the second, later on, I will give some interest to economical point of view or optimal point of view. Now we'll go for a different possible combinations. For example, here how many units are there? 3 units are there. We'll go for different possibilities. So this is nothing but unit 1 data, unit 2 data, and unit 3 data. So here, see very carefully, 160 megawatts and 600 megawatts are nothing but constraints of unit 1, means 160 megawatt is nothing but minimum power can generate by the unit 1, and 600 megawatts is maximum power can generate by the unit 1. Similarly, come to the unit 2, 100 megawatts is nothing but minimum power it should generate by the unit 2. Similarly, this 450 megawatts is nothing but maximum power can generate by the unit 2. Similarly, unit 3, 50 megawatts is nothing but minimum power for unit 3, and maximum power is 250 megawatts. Okay, this is very, very important. This is very, very important in order to have this problem, because we must know the minimum power at the same time maximum power for each and every unit. Similarly, F1 is nothing but fuel cost function for unit 1, F2 is fuel cost function for unit 2, and F3 is fuel cost function for unit 3. And this is nothing but given the and by use of this data. So with the usage of this data, we must try to understand how we can meet the load. That is first case. And the second one is how we can meet that load economically or optimally. That is nothing but the second case. So first, I will give you the importance for meeting the load. So that is nothing but first my objective. How can you meet the load? For example, in the case 1, what I will do is I am taking single unit at a time to meet the 500 megawatts, single unit. So here, how many units are there? Here, 3 units are there. So individually, I will consider unit 1. Similarly, I will consider unit 2. Similarly, I will consider unit 3. Now I will check whether the unit 1 is going to meet the load or not. Similarly, unit 2 is going to meet the load or not. Similarly, unit 3 is going to meet the load or not. So that is nothing but a single unit at a time for 500 megawatts load. Now, for example, if we consider the load 1, means not load 1, unit 1. So load is always constant here, 500 megawatts. Now let us assume here unit 1. Unit 1 is nothing but on condition. Now tell me in this case, when I put in the operation of unit 1, can it meet the load or not? Yes, definitely, because when you are considering the unit 1, the maximum power it can generate is 600 megawatts. But the load is only 500 megawatts. Then automatically unit 1 can meet the load. So maximum power can generated by the unit 1 is 600 megawatts, whereas your load is just only 500 megawatts. It is less than your unit 1 maximum generation. Then automatically we can meet the load. So that's why in the remarks, I'm using here something positive side here. So understanding everybody, this is nothing but the case when we are taking unit 1. Similarly, by considering the unit 2. So when you are going to operate unit 2, is it possible to meet the load or not? Not at all, because when you are taking unit 2, the maximum generation you can generate by the usage of unit 2 is only 450 megawatts. Only 450 megawatts. But the load is 500 megawatts. Then how it is possible to meet your load? It's not at all possible. So that's why we cannot meet the load. So it is nothing but negative sign. I'm using here negative sign. Similarly, the last one is unit 3. When you turn on the unit 3, now tell me is it possible or not? In this case also not possible. The reason is when you are considering the unit 3, the maximum generation is 250 megawatts only. But the load is 500 megawatts. So that's why in this case also it is not at all possible. So that is scenario which we are taking in the case 1. That means single unit at a time for meeting the 500 megawatts. Understanding everybody? So in the case one, we are taking only unit one, then automatically we can meet the load. In the second one, when we are taking only unit two, it's not possible to meet the load. And in the third case, when we are taking unit 3, in this case also it is not possible to meet the load. So this is the situation when we are taking a single unit at a time. So these are nothing but possible combinations when you are taking a single unit. Similarly, in the case 2, what I will do is, now I will take 2 at a time. So in the case 1, I am taking 1 unit at a time. In the case 2, I will take 2 at a time. So 2 units at a time to meet the 500 megawatts. Means, what are the possible combinations you have? Or how many possible combinations you will get here? For example, here 2 units at a time means, 2 units at a time means maximum when you are remembering your digital logic. When the two variables are there, in the maximum number of possible combinations are that is nothing but 2 power n. Here 2 power n means n is nothing but 2. That is 2 square, you will get 4 combinations. So finally, you will get 4 combinations. 4 combinations. How you can represent those 4 combinations? 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. But coming to the practical case, 0 means your generator is an off condition. 1 means your generator is an on condition. In order to meet this 500 megawatts, when you are considering the first case, that is 0, 0, that means both the generators are in off condition, there will be no meaning. Your target is to meet the load, but your first case is 0, 0. Means you are putting your 2 generator in shutdown mode. So there is no meaningless. So that's why I'm not consider your the first case, that is 0, 0. So that's why I'm considering the remaining cases. So what about the remaining cases here? The combination of 1 and 2, the combination of 2 and 3, similarly the combination of 1 and 3. So these are nothing but a possible combinations to meet the load. Similarly, when you are considering the first case means 0, 0, you can put those 2 generators in shutdown mode, but you cannot meet your load. So that's why I'm not considering that load. So here, when you are considering 2 at a time, the possible combinations are, you can mix up first generator and the second generator, and second generator and the third generator, and the first generator and third generator. So these are nothing but a different possible combinations when we are taking 2 units at a time. So first unit and this is second unit. Similarly, first unit, second unit. Here also first unit and the second unit. So I am taking here 2 units at a time. Try to understand 2 units at a time. Now tell me here, when we are considering the first unit and the second unit, can we meet the load or not? Yes, because the first unit maximum power is 600 megawatts and the second unit maximum power is 450 megawatts. Then automatically maximum power we can generate is 600 plus 450 means 1050. But your load is 500 megawatts only. Then automatically we can meet the load. This is nothing but first combination. Okay, the combination of the first unit and the second unit is nothing but, I am assuming this one first combination. Similarly, we will go for one more combination. Here I am taking the combination of second unit and third unit. Now let us check whether this combination is going to meet the load or not. So second unit is, it can generate maximum of 450 megawatts and third unit can generate maximum of 250 megawatts. So combined it is nothing but 700 megawatts. But here the load is 500 megawatts only. So in this case also, we can meet the load. So this is nothing but a second possible condition, second condition or second group. Now the last one is the combination of first and the third. The first is 600 and the last one is 250. Combinedly we can generate the maximum power is equals to 850 megawatts. The load is 500 megawatts. In this case also we can meet the load. This is nothing but third combination. So when we are taking 2 units at a time, 2 units at a time, so total available units are nothing but 3. Out of these 3, just let us consider 2 units at a time. Then the number of possible combinations are only 3 only. Forget about your 0, 0 condition because that is a useless condition practically. Your load is 500 megawatts, but you put your those condition, those 2 generators in off condition, there is no meaning. So that's why I'm not considering that condition. So remaining possible combinations are the combination of unit 1 and unit 2, the combination of unit 2 and unit 3, and the last one is the combination of unit 1 and unit 3. In all the possible combinations, we can meet the load. This is nothing but first possible condition, this is second condition, and this is third condition. Now, till now, I have given the importance for whether I am going to meet the load or not. That's it. But here, how many possible combinations are there in order to meet the load? 3 possible combinations are there. But here the point is, what combination we need to use? Whether we will use first combination, or whether we will use second combination, or we will use third combination. Because in all the 3 conditions, we can meet the load. But what combination I must take? Just respond anyone in our chat box. What combination I must take here? Yes, please respond in our chat box. Yes, I'm getting messages. So let us check here. Yeah, 236 is saying that 2 and 3. Similarly, 214 is also saying that 2 and 3. So here, till now we have seen only whether the combination is going to meet the load or not. But coming to the second one, already I mentioned that point, that is economically or optimally. Now tell me, if you use any one of this combination, definitely we can meet the load. But here, the choice is nothing but we need to select only one choice out of these 3 combinations. Either first choice means first combination, or the second combination, or third combination. What combination we need to select in order to meet your load at the same time optimally? Now tell me now. Optimally. Choice 2 means 2 and 3. 236 is saying that 2 and 3. Optimally. Still anyone? 244 is also saying that 2 and 3. Yes, someone else? Please try to understand, this is nothing but just LKG, UKG problems only. Easily you can understand these concepts. The only requirement is your common sense and your concentration. That's it. You will get 14 marks from this unit also. Yes, tell me anyone. Now, let me clarify this point. So forget about this number of possible combinations. Now come to your fuel cost functions. When I'm saying optimally or economically, listen very carefully. We must understand or we must analyze what is the fuel cost for the given plants. F1, F2 and F3 are nothing but fuel cost functions. But optimally means we need to find out or we must understand what is the incremental fuel cost. That is very, very important. Repeatedly we have been discussing the same point, incremental fuel cost. What it means, incremental fuel cost? When you increase the power generation, then how much cost we are going to increase in order to increase that power generation. That is nothing but incremental fuel cost. And it is given by the differentiation of your fuel cost with respect to the P1. So when you do like this, these constants, you can forget these constants because these constants will become 0. And the remaining coefficients are nothing but alpha and beta 1. So already we have seen in the first unit. So this is 7.1 is alpha and this is beta. Similarly, this is alpha and this is beta for second generator. And 8 is nothing but alpha for unit 3 and this one is nothing but beta for unit 3. So based upon this incremental fuel cost only, we can decide what combination it is best to meet the load. Now tell me here, just observe this incremental fuel cost for the unit 1, unit 2 and unit 3. Now tell me which generator is having less incremental fuel cost. Similarly, which generator is having the more fuel cost, incremental fuel cost. Yes, I'm getting messages here. 1 plus 2. So 214 is saying that 1 plus 2. So we'll check it. So first, give the response to my question here. By observing these 3 functions, tell me which generator will have less incremental fuel cost. Similarly, which generator is present at second place and which generator is present at third place, means maximum incremental fuel cost. So when you're observing these coefficients means alpha and beta, your first generator is having less coefficients, means your first unit is having less incremental fuel cost. Then after that, unit 2 is having less incremental fuel cost when compared to the unit 3. Similarly, at the last, unit 3 is having more incremental fuel cost when compared to unit 2 and unit 1. So generally, when you apply your common sense, in order to generate the power, we must give the importance for the generator which is having less incremental fuel cost. So that's why out of these three generators, listen very carefully, out of these three generators, first we must give the importance for unit 1, then we must give the importance for unit 2, then only we must consider unit 3. The reason it depends upon the incremental fuel cost. When you are considering the unit 1, it has very less incremental fuel cost. Then after that, it has less incremental fuel cost. Then finally, unit 3 is having more incremental fuel cost. So based upon this point, first the order is nothing but unit 1, then unit 2, then unit 3. Okay, now tell me here answer. What combination we must consider here in order to meet the load at the same time optimally? Yeah, the first one is 1 and 2. Very good. Then 1 and 2 means here, what combination I must use here means the first one, because the first generator is having less incremental fuel cost, at the same time second one is also less incremental fuel cost. So that's why I must use the first combination in the first place. Then after that, yes, very good, third combination. Yes, very good. So then the second option is must connected to the third option. That is the combination of first and third units. Because when compared to the second option, that is 2 and 3, it is better to take 1 and 3 because 1 is having less incremental fuel cost when compared to the second unit. So that's first of all we must give the importance for the first unit. So that's why in the second place we need to consider the third combination, that is first unit and third unit. So that's why this is nothing but second place. And then the last one is second unit and third unit. So this is nothing but the order for which we are going to generate the power or in order to meet the load. So this is the case when we are taking 2 units at a time. And the next possibility is, let's try to understand by considering 3 units at a time. So when you are considering 3 units at a time, how many possible combinations you will get here? So here n equals to 3, then 2 power n is nothing but 8 combinations you will get. Out of those 8 combinations, already I told you that the first condition is useless because all generators in shutdown mode. So in order to meet this 500 megawatts, let's see how many possible combinations are there. So these are nothing but possible combinations. How many possible combinations are there? Totally 8 possible combinations. And the first one is all zeros. No need to consider this condition because your load is 500 megawatts. When you put all the generators in off condition, it is a useless. Okay, it is a useless case. That's why no need to consider that case. And the next one is unit 1 is an off condition, unit 2 is an off condition, and unit 3 is an on condition. Now tell me, can we meet the load or not? So only in the case 2, unit 3 is an on condition. Whatever the maximum power here for unit 3, it is only 250 megawatts only. So that's why it is not possible. That's why I'm using here cross mark. Similarly, third case, unit 1 is an off condition, unit 2 is an on condition, and unit 3 is an off condition. Now in this case, it is possible or not? So in this case, only unit 2 is an on condition. What is the maximum power it can generate? Only 450 megawatts, but the load is 500 megawatts. So that's why in this case also it is not possible. And the next case is unit 1 is an off condition, whereas unit 2 and unit 3 is on conditions. So when you add these two, you will get here 700 megawatts. But here load is 500 megawatts, means you can meet the load. So that's why I'm considering this one as first combination. So this one as the first combination. Similarly, let's go for one more combination. Unit 1 is an on condition and the remaining 2 units in off condition. In this case also we can meet the load. This is second possible combination. So like this, next case is unit 1 is an on condition, Unit 2 is an off condition, unit 3 is an on condition. So in this case also we can meet the load, that is nothing but total condition. So like this, we have here out of 8 possible combinations, here in the 5 conditions, we can meet the load. In the first 3 conditions only we are unable to meet the load, because in this one the generation is less when compared to the load side. So that's why in the first 3 cases we are unable to meet the load. But except other than these 3 cases, in all the 5 cases, we can meet the load. Now tell me here, of course the last one is also useless, because in exceptional cases only we will prefer the last one, because we cannot operate all the generators in off condition. Similarly, we cannot operate all the generators in on condition. So practically it is not feasible conditions. But for simplification, let us consider all the 5 possible combinations. So out of these possible combinations, from 8 possible combinations, now tell me here, first we need to pick up which combination. Whether I need to pick up first combination, or third combination, or fourth combination, or fifth combination. But the condition is optimally we must meet the load. Now tell me, out of these 5 possible combinations, tell me ordering. For which combination you will give more importance? Let's try to understand and put your answers in our chat box. Yes, I'm getting messages. That is second combination. A7 is saying that a second combination. 53 is saying that first one is second combination, then fourth combination, then first combination. So 44 is saying that second combination. So apply the same logic. So when you are having here 3 units, first we must give the importance for unit 1, because it is having very less incremental fuel cost. So once unit 1 is over, we must give the importance for unit 2, then only we must give the importance for unit 3. Now we will check the possible combinations. First one is nothing but, very good, second possibility. That is, unit 1 is a non-condition, whereas remaining 2 units in off condition. Because unit 1 can alone can meet the load. At the same time, unit 1 has very less incremental fuel cost. So that's why first I will give the importance for this combination. Then after that, yes, very good. After that is nothing but fourth combination. That is unit 1 and unit 2. Then after that, yes, very good, third combination. So let me check what will be the next. So that is nothing but third condition, means unit 1 and unit 3 combination. Then after that, this one, fourth one, that is unit 2 and unit 3. Then last one is fifth combination. But here the observation point is 5 possible combinations are there here. You can take any possible combinations in order to meet your load. But the constraint is optimally, economically, we must meet the load. The first and foremost important should be due to your second possible combination. Of course, you can use here second one is fourth combination. But the thing is, when you take up this combination, fourth combination, here you need to spend much more money when compared to the second possible combination. So this is not economical when compared to the second combination. Similarly, third one is nothing but third combination. This is not economical when compared to the second combination. Means in this one, you need to spend a much more money when compared to the second possible condition. So like this, we can give the priority. What combination we must use? So this is nothing but a simple logic behind the first method, that is priority list method. So understood, everybody? Understood? So out of 8 possible combinations, in 5 possible combinations, we can meet the load. But out of these 5 possible combinations, what combination we need to consider? That is based upon this incremental fuel cost. Okay. Now, let's move to the one more important topic. For example, already everybody knows that what is the meaning of load curve here. So load curve is represented that what is the load with respect to the time. So when you apply this unit commitment schedule to the load curve, then automatically we can understand more and more. For example, I am taking one load curve. This is nothing but one load curve. This presents from 4 p.m. to 4 p.m., 24 hours. Your x-axis is nothing but time. Your y-axis is nothing but load. When you observe this load curve, the maximum point is, maximum power is 1200 megawatts and the minimum load is 500 megawatts. And in between these two, the load is varies. So maximum point is 1200 megawatts, then it comes like this, then it is decreases, then it reaches to the minimum point and it sustains for some time. Then again, the load is increases, then again it reaches to the maximum point. So this is nothing but the load changes with respect to the time. So this one is called as generally peak valley load curve. Why we are calling peak valley is, peak is nothing but positive peak and valley is nothing but negative peak. So this is nothing but a maximum point, slowly it comes to the negative peak. Again it goes to the maximum point. So that's why this one is called as nothing but simply peak valley load pattern. But here the point is, how many units are there here? 3 units are there. Yes, someone got messaged me. Let me check. Yeah, of course, that problem is over. Then come to this concept. So this is nothing but a load curve. A maximum point is 1200 megawatts and minimum load is nothing but 500 megawatts. So in this example, how many generators are there here? 3 generators are there. So at each and every point, every time we must meet the load. So here the load is 1200 megawatts. For example, here the load is 500 megawatts. Similarly, here the load is 1200 megawatts. Means when you are looking the time axis from 4 p.m. to 4 p.m., the load is always changes. But still, our target is we must meet the load. Here the load is maximum. Slowly, the load is decreases. Then it comes to the minimum point. Then again, from this point, again load is increases. Then it reaches to the maximum point. Now, what we can understand or how we can operate these 3 units. We cannot operate all the 3 units at a time. Similarly, we cannot operate all the 2 units at a time. Means what combination we have to take or how we can operate the existing 3 units. For example, when the load is maximum, we need to operate all the 3 units. But here, try to understand here, from this point, the load is decreases. So that's why what I have to do is, I need to shut down some of the generators. Because the load is decreases. When the load is decreases, then there is no need to generate the total power by the uses of all the 3 units. So that's why what I will do is, I need to shut down some of the generators as the load is decreases. Similarly, the load is comes to the negative peak, then again the load is increases. So in this case, what I will do is, again, I will bring the some of the generators into the operation. Means that one is called as recommitted. So some units must be recommitted. So here the load is decreases from maximum to minimum point. So that's why some of the units must be in shutdown condition. But here the load is increased from minimum to maximum point. So that's why in this case, I need to bring some of the generators from off condition to on condition. That is called as recommitted. Understanding everybody? This is nothing but a simple logic. Now, let me put the same thing in boards. To optimize the system operation, some units must be shut down as the load decreases and is then recommitted. Recommitted means we need to put the generators into the service as it goes back up. Means when the load is decreases, we need to shut down some of the generators. When the load is increases, again we need to recommit some of the generators. So just now we have seen. And the next one is, so for this one, we will use some rule, that is shutdown rule. So what it means is, according to this rule, we can understand that what units is to be dropped and what units when to be dropped. So we can understand this point when we use a shutdown rule. And we use the same rule for our first algorithm, that is a priority list method. Now we will see how to apply the shutdown rule. For example, let's consider a shutdown rule. The total load is nothing but, our maximum load is 1200 megawatts and minimum load is 500 megawatts. And let us assume the load is varies in steps of 100 megawatts. Then how we can apply or how we can operate all the 3 units, you will see here. So this is nothing but, let us consider truth table for the particular load curve. The maximum load is nothing but 1200 and the minimum load is nothing but 500 megawatts. Now tell me, in order to meet this 1200 megawatts, what unit should be in on condition? Similarly, in order to meet this 800 megawatts, what unit should be in on condition? Similarly, what unit should be in off condition? Similarly, in order to meet a particular load, let us consider 600 megawatts, what unit should be in on condition? Similarly, what unit should be in off condition? That is nothing but a shutdown rule. So easily we can understand the shutdown rule from this truth table. For example, let us consider the maximum load, that is 1200 megawatts. So in this example, we are considering 3 units, unit 1, unit 2 and unit 3. And these are nothing but maximum power it can generate by all the 3 units. So 600 megawatts is nothing but maximum power generated by the unit 1. 450 megawatts is nothing but maximum power generated by the unit 2. 250 megawatts is nothing but maximum power generated by unit 3. Now we will see the first one, that is 1200 megawatts. So how we can meet this 1200 megawatts from the 3 units? So in order to meet this 1200 megawatts, definitely we must turn on all the 3 units, because here the load is very, very more. So here 600 plus 450, how much? 1050. 1050 plus 250, it is nothing but 1300 megawatts. So when you are adding these two, we have only 1050 only. But here the load is 1200 megawatts. So you cannot meet the load. So that's why, in order to meet this 1200 megawatts, we must put all the 3 units in on condition. That is nothing but first case. Similarly, consider 1100 megawatts. Can you meet the load 1100 megawatts by the usage of first 2 units? Not at all possible, because 600 plus 450 is how much? 1050. But the load is here 1100 megawatts. So that's why, in order to meet this 1100 megawatts also, we must put all the 3 units in on condition only. And the next one is 1000 megawatts. So in order to meet this 1000 megawatts, how many generators we need to turn on? Or is there any necessity to shut down any generator? For example, when you come to the unit 1 and unit 2 combination, 600 plus 450 is how much? 1050. But the load is only 1000 megawatts. So definitely when you use these two, you can meet this load. So that's why unit 1 is in on condition, unit 2 is also in on condition, but whatever the unit 3, it is nothing but off condition, because there is no necessity for unit 3, because combinedly unit 1 and unit 2 alone, it can meet the load of 1000 megawatts. So we can shut down unit 3 when you are moving from 1100 to 1000 megawatts. Like this, in order to meet the 900, we must turn on first 2 units, and third unit is nothing but a shutdown condition, or we can say off condition. So this process is continuous up to 700 megawatts. But what about in order to meet 600 megawatts? When you are considering the unit 1 maximum generation, it is nothing but 600 megawatts. So unit 1 alone can generate 600 megawatts and it can meet the load requirement. So that's why in this case, in order to meet 600 megawatts, it is enough to put your unit 1 in on condition. What about the remaining conditions here? Off conditions. Means your unit 2 is an off condition, your unit 3 is also off condition. And the last condition is 500 megawatts. Similarly, here also same thing. In order to generate 500 megawatts, or in order to meet the 500 megawatts load, it is enough to operate your unit 1 alone. So that's why it is nothing but on condition, and these two nothing but off condition. Means from this truth table, how you can understand how we can operate these 3 units. If the load is maximum, that is 1200 and 1100 megawatts, we have to operate all the 3 units. When the load is decreases from 1100 to 1000 megawatts, it is not enough to turn on all the units. It is enough to operate the first 2 units, and we can shut down the last unit, that is unit 3. Similarly, up to 700 megawatts, this same process is continuous. And the next one is 600 megawatts. When the load is decreases from 700 megawatts to 600 megawatts, instead of operating the first 2 units, it is enough to operate only first unit only, and the remaining 2 units must be in shutdown condition. Now, from this table, what we can understand is what unit should be in on condition, what unit should be in shutdown condition. Now, we have seen from top to bottom. Similarly, we will consider from bottom to top. For example, let us consider 500 megawatts. In order to meet the 500 megawatts, it is enough to turn on unit 1 itself. Unit 1 is an on condition, remaining 2 is nothing but off condition. Similarly, 600 are also same thing. But coming to the 700 megawatts, in order to generate the 700 megawatts, it is not enough to alone unit 1 is an operating condition. We must turn on unit 1 at the same time unit 2. Means we need to bring this unit 1 from off condition to on condition. That is recommitted. This is nothing but recommitted. So like this, we can understand that how we can operate unit 1, unit 2, and unit 3. So when we need to shut down the generators, when we need to recommitting the generators. So easily you can understand from this truth table. Now same truth table can be represented in diagram. So this is nothing but same representation, diagrammatical representation of the previous example. So time axis is nothing but 4 p.m. to 4 p.m. and y-axis is nothing but load. If your load is more and more, that is more than 1100 megawatts, or we can say more than the combination of unit 1 and unit 3, that is 600 plus 450, that is 1050. So when your load is more than 1050, we must operate all the 3 units. We need to operate unit 3, we need to operate unit 2, similarly we need to operate unit 1. But when the load is below 1050, then no need to use unit 3. In such case, it is enough to use only unit 2 and unit 1. So that's why from this point, we are using unit 2 and unit 1 in on condition. Similarly, up to 600, it is okay. Then below 600, it is enough to use only unit 1, because unit 1 can alone generate 600 megawatts. This is from positive point to value point. Similarly, the same process is continuous from value point to peak point. So this is nothing but a simple understanding of the unit commitment problem when we are applied to the load curve. And this rule is also called as a shutdown rule. Means what we can understand from this shutdown rule is when to be we can operate the already existing generators from on condition to off condition. Similarly, from off condition to on condition. So it is completely depends upon load variation. So this is nothing but unit commitment concept when we are applying to the load curve. So with this, we can conclude this class. Okay. If you have any doubt, you can ask me now. So you can, if you have any doubt, you can ask me now. No chat box. Yes, if you don't have any doubts, let me wind up the today class. Thank you very much.